Alright, folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh, and this is part 42 of our Let's Play of The Letter. I think things are about to finally pop off here. I think we're, I think we're finally about to move forward, because as Ash, we've now caught up with the deaths of both Rebecca and Zach. We checked in with Zach last time and found another sort of grotesque image there. We went back to the bar and had like one more like heart-to-heart with Isabella. We decided that we're going to go to the mansion and that Isabella is not going to come with us, at least for now. And I think we're about to have some climactic stuff happen here in the mansion, so let's just get right into it. Galway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter, slipping out mostly unseen becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxborn night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. See, I'm telling you, the storm's coming, Halloween night, here we go. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the one we had this morning. On instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material close to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay it no mind as I hurry towards the car. Oh, so he's brought the letter with him. Interesting. Okay. Yep, okay, I nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this is all connected, I need this damn piece of paper with me. However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed, either. But I can't waste time here and wait for her to find out, can I? For 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. Alright, what time is it right now? Like, 6? Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. But as with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does, in the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car. Isabella turns just as I near, her mouth curving up in a smile. She offers no greeting except for a shy tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up at the starless sky when I come up to stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question of why she's out here. Yeah, Isabella, I thought we dealt with this. The air is already heavy with the promise of rain, with clouds obscuring the view. There's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Still, she stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That, or she's here for some other reason.
Belle, I can't bring you with me.
I know. I won't ask you to.
Go back inside. G will keep an eye on you while I'm gone. You can trust him.
Don't worry. I will. In a while. I just want a bit of fresh air.
Well, don't stay out there too long. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
Be a real shame if you caught a cold on top of all this other curse. I give her shoulder a reassuring squeeze before walking past her and heading to my car. No 2 steps further, though. Something pulls the back of my jacket, catching the fabric in a firm grip and halting my movements.
Isabella, I need to go.
She refuses to meet my eyes, but her hold remains tight. There's a worried crease between her eyebrows, and her lips quiver ever so slightly when she speaks. In a small voice, brimming with a different kind of desperation I can't quite place.
Rebecca's gone. Zach, too.
Aww. She draws in a breath, soft, slow, lined with enough sorrow that it hitches.
And if that thing takes you, too.
The rest of it falters, but the gravity in each of her words rings loudly above the passing breeze, hanging over us, lingering in between. A small little thing that spurs me into silence, like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. Listen, I've not worked this hard to get you two together to let Ash die here. Don't you worry, Isabella. No words will form, not even a single coherent thought. And so, in place of it, in place of everything untold and we've taken for granted, I draw her in, gently, quietly, pulling her against me until my arms settle around her shoulders. For a fleeting second, she freezes, startled, and looks up to me with hesitation and a silent question in her eyes. Whatever answer she finds in mine, eventually she allows this. She folds herself into me, buries her face into my shoulder, and and settles her arms on my sides, unsure, uncertain.
It'll be over soon. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way to get us out of this. But no matter what happens, I want you to promise that you will stay alive until then. Because if I lose you to her as well, I have no idea what else would keep me grounded.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you both really only have each other. I accidentally killed everyone else. When all has been said and done, I rest my forehead against hers, eyes closed and simply taking in her warmth. Desperation still clings, woven into every breath, every sigh, but at the heart of it is this: her. No words are said, even as we part. But I let this be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping inside my car and driving off. So we had to have one more sweet Isabella moment just to make me feel real bad if I let Ash die. I mean, maybe that's something you only get if their relationship is really high or something. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxport and heading straight for Ansem Village. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble, seconds later, echoing long across the sky. And with one last roar, the skies open in earnest. I also like that Ash has this like weird radio song going. I mean, I guess if this is what pumps you up, Ash. Oh, wow. Oh, so we're just getting right into midnight then? Okay. Jeez. I thought, okay. The rain fall in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in this city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me, I've reached the mansion before the downpour has turned torrential. The long slog from Ansem Village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. You walked? You were just in a car, weren't you? By the time I found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. I mean, I get why you're not gonna, like, park, like, right in front of the mansion, but, like, come on. My hair is also sticking against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, taser, and gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. Yeah, it'd be a real shame if the letter got ruined, oh no. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, Scumbag, Wright, had suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. Likely because of what Zack did. Good, I've made this more difficult for myself. A guard is now stationed in every possible point of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one has spotted me once I enter the property, although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself under this deluge, it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped in the property and the mansion came into view. Every light is off. Even with the security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself, it feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally, I'll pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. I'm not Zack, I guess. Although I need a way in, desperately so, moving without thinking will not only endanger me. With so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I'll also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impetuously. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in a prison, not a morgue. So, when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant? Well, I'm pretty sure we know not to trust this based on what I've seen so far. It's coming from the forest? Just right up ahead, in fact. Not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise. Carefully, keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it goes as I near. Oh, until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run. one nervous hand ready on gun holstered at my hip, and the other raised for balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There's only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly, it all stops, and I'm met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness. Even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks, and...
Help me.
Well, that was the clearest we've ever gotten to help me. Dread surges within me while I spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. Before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting, and tilting till the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then, it's too late. My foot slips further, and the rest of my body follows. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and of who I failed. What I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into my every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me, apart from one. There's only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. Am I already just gonna die? I feel like I haven't even made a bad choice yet. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Oh! Well, I recognize this little place. Are we gonna bump into Marianne, alive or dead? Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and my breathing to even out first, before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right at my arms, my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or a major fracture, though the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I've skidded down prior to landing myself here. Comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what is apparently an underground tunnel and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place, mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul. Like death. More worrisome than the putrid festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside on some of them, but I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising. You gotta expect, a crazy dungeon in your haunted mansion.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Oh, he knows. He's got some people locked away down here, I think. Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me reel as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though? If this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind that fucking letter. But fear is inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing, and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
I'm sure, I'm quite sure, Ashton. I'm sure from here on, it's all gonna go uphill, just nice and easy. Turns out that alone, it's too much to ask for this early. No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel, before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. I pause, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually move my hand to my side, slow and steady, till the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Well, let's keep it easy there, cool hands. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute, I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Marianne? Marianne? Perhaps it's because of what has happened earlier and how I've ended up here. Maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of the panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Yeah, I guess Ash never met Marianne, as far as I remember. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid. Frantic. Weak?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
I mean, you're not really in a position to demand answers here, my friend. It's only after I've released the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself!
Reveal yourself!
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this. Based on what? Why does Ghost have to follow your logic, Ash? They could be trying to trick you. Well, Ghost can't be stuck anywhere, because then it'd just go right through it. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bars, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
Maybe. In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman's inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars, with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
Same one I met at G's. Oh, that's right, they did meet at the bar. Yeah, they had the... She was very drunk, yes. Same one I met G's 5 days ago. Smashed drunk and babbling her frustrations about her employers. No, not McLaughlin. McDonald. No, McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch. Famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing's shallow, and there's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration. Yeah, let's get a quick, how long ago, or how long has she been here? I think, yep. So, since Friday at, let's say, about, 6 p.m. to Tuesday, right at midnight? That's pretty rough. I mean, she must have gotten some water to survive, but probably not food.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in, and that woman, whatever. Can you get me out of here? Please.
I do like that, I mean, I get it. I totally understand, but that, this does not show, the fact that she's been trapped here for 4 days does not show in her portrait. Looks just as fancy and prim and proper as ever.
In a moment.
First, I don't know. I gotta go to the bathroom.
But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
Good thing I got a Yang's energy bar. Really, Yang controls the snack market here. I fish out an energy bar from my pocket and hand it to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person, just in case I need a little kick. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wasted no time making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away, and taking in whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face in the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that if what she has said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the puddle on the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks, though even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some have survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now, to get her out. My bobby pins won't be of any use here. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have at the precinct, simple barrel hinge holds the gates to this cell together. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Don't talk with your mouth open, Marianne. How very rude.
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hall... Well, I don't think she's gonna go anywhere, Ash. The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here, however McCulloch ended up inside.
Well, there's no...
Are you still eating? It's one energy bar. My head snaps back to her. McCulloch extricates a wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is in between the bars. It's short, but appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
Good enough, I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force to the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly, metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation on McCulloch's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she has accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there.
Yeah, I could see why. That would be pretty terrifying.
If you didn't show up, today, I don't even want to think about it.
Where's the camera that she put in your cell that has the video of the kids doing the prank?
How did you even end up here?
For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something.
You're gonna need to be honest here, Marianne. The time for this has long since ended.
Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes, something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. Doesn't last too long, but it still leaves me the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private, something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Okay, so this is connected to or part of the wine cellar? Okay. Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry, and I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans!
I mean, if it wasn't in the floor plans, it can't exist!
What do you mean?
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here! People died in this place! Kids! Oh God! Kids! I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore.
Okay, alright, well that settles that.
It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, no, this is important information for us to know.
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
No, you fool. She did it after you broke it.
Nicola, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, you mean this one?
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
Nicola!
Abruptly, she stops, looks back at me with wild, panic-stricken eyes. Seen enough of it so many times these past few days, from my own friends even, to know she has seen things, the kind that'll easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. Can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there'll be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me.
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet? An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not.
Who is? I'm pretty sure no character I've had so far is fond of Luke Wright.
He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and the letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Take a quick look. Okay. Occasionally, she'll stop, find perches on the wall to catch her breath. It doesn't seem like, from this picture, that this is like that large of a little dungeon here. Find perches on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk, she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I guess she hasn't had, like, yeah, okay, she is dehydrated and everything. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually, we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along weathered edges of the bricks with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
The secret switch.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence, and continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar, indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare, but after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? Can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I simply follow her to the Undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over. We leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentions it's only by chance she's been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again on occasion something goes horribly wrong. There's bound to be, with me feeling this high-strung and tense. I'm not even sure why I thought it would be a good idea to enlist McCulloch's help. Although she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's going to happen to her if she stays with me. I don't know, this feels kind of like a dream team to me. Like, you know, they kind of make up for each other's faults in some ways. Even if I'm her safest bet if she wants to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
Did you say something?
McCulloch's paused mid-step, turning to me, confused.
I didn't.
No, that's just you going crazy, Ash.
You sure? I just heard.
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
This time, I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite the look of protest McCulloch shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surrounding for the familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, mirror shards litter the floor, and right on the biggest fragments. Okay, so this is definitely, I mean, obviously these are the faces, the mouths of his friends, and then the woman. So this mirror somehow has some kind of like mystical element of like the thing you're afraid of. It relates to the person, though, I guess is what I'm saying. All singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small Undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevice in my head, taunting me.
Dragged another person into this, Ashton.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own. You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
I'm great! I'm the greatest man who ever lived! My mistake lies in the first instance I've answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod at and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
What about Zack?
What about Zack?
Wrongfully accused. You couldn't even get him out.
I'm not a lawyer.
What about Becca?
What about Becca?
Oh, the way she fell to her death. But all you did was watch.
I didn't get there in time.
Someone's dead because of you.
That's not, well, it is because of me. But it's not Ash's fault.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
That's true.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this.
Well, if we're saying that that's the responsibility, then really Isabella's the one who...
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends.
Well, to be fair, I had to turn those into the chief's desk on Monday.
Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Listen, I'm all for ragging on Ash, but he doesn't quite deserve this much.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
Well, you think it's true.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
I believe the word he used was scaredy cat.
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
I saved Isabella. And Hannah. And Marianne. So I'm 3 for 2, right? Yeah.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore.
It laughs, sharp and piercing as it sounds. Something in me snaps, a rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision. And the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and... something grabs at my wrist, followed by a buzz as another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there is this deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding onto my wrist as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands, a shard. Blood drips from where it has cut my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is a pain, however, a different kind. An ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word has hit. When I glance up at McCulloch, she stares at me with wide, horrified
Don't
eyes.
listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says!
The mirror is evil!
It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arms closer to herself. She breathes a sigh, heavy. Perhaps weighted with her own guilt, what this monster might have used against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
She walks off without another comment, but there is worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie lifeless now, No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die. And you are going to die alone.
Zach! Zach in particular really enjoyed getting to say that one. A fear. One that has been long kept in the darkest place of my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. Alright, well, we've made our way into the mansion. We're gonna have to see what else fun, dark nonsense awaits us as we continue on, as Ash perhaps goes a little bit crazy. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh. Ooh, feel that storm. And I will see you next time.